They're not going to go easy at all. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, though, what you're saying. Like, how fights over, like, runes go and how the lane goes pre-level 6. Once Miracle's level 6, like, he can avoid those ganks and get away from a Fissure or Shaker rotation, but, like, a level 5 SF, getting a Fissure from a Shaker can just be a kill and avoid.
A lot of that's going to have to come down to the early game, so the early lanes, so first couple of minutes, and if they go very well, that will enable Stinger and Schofield to start to move. But if their cores are struggling, you will kind of have to continue to babysit them for a little bit longer of a time. It does look like Crit's going to start down bottom at the moment. They really want to try and slow down Sacred on the Timber.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes to the gate. He's gone for the Starstorm level 1, so getting some extra early damage and throwing out these early right clicks as there we go. The first Fissure just to try and secure the Timber's lane, pull the wave back, and will TP himself to the top lane, so no tri-lanes today.
Just one thing to mention is that Beast Coast, they put pretty high priority on those bounty runes with the 2-for-2 trade. Often we see the Earthshaker getting a double Fissure, not just one that we just saw. So will mean that the lane is, you know, still in a pretty good position for Shopify regardless, and you see how aggressive they're playing. Like Arteezy,
Tank the Meld Strike and just got right click down, like going for, had level 1 Starstorm, so couldn't like go for an arrow run away. And yeah, the Park just gets an easy first blood.
Well, we've seen what he can do with a good start. So giving first blood over to Mr. Jim Park's not going to be too good. And now keep in mind, he also TP'd up. So going to have to make the walk a shame.
Yeah, I mean, Crit often hyped up as like kind of the MVP of Shopify in a lot of their wins. And that was a costly misplay from him. A rare kind of misplay, but that's going to really age. And we kind of, when we talk about Shopify, a lot of their strength often is this laning stage and giving up round to Beast Coast early on. A second kill. Oh boy, the early game, this top lane specifically goes from bad to worse.
Early boots from Jim Park, just super aggressive for him. Doing an incredible job to be able to play together. I guess you had a decent chunk of the tour to be able to build the synergy, and all they needed was a couple of weeks from these boys in the safe lane. They're going to even go for Crit as well. Still level 1 on the Mirana, so there will be no leap away. A third kill for Beast Coast in their safe lane.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, if you're Mirana, it's like, do you even want to get leap level 2? You won't have arrow then until level 3, so see, either way, it's not ideal for your lane, although we have seen a bit of a shift towards this more like leap Starstorm build. It's great, like, you know, I was like snaking on Tundra, who was doing this 5 Mirana with Starstorm leap, but
top tower
when
is
you're not strong
attack.
enough to really go for leap in, so you're not really getting value out of your leap either. So really rocking a hard place kind of scenario for this Mirana now.
Does look like at least their other lanes are going quite well. Mid seems Miracle had a pretty good start, 12-1 compared to the 15-3. Bottom as well, they've very much bullied Sacred. Only 7 last hits. They've been forced to kind of do some awkward lane dragging shenanigans, which is a lot more difficult now with the new map.
We'll fight in the mid lane here between Miracle and Dark Mago. We've got the triple race here, but
Radiant's courier has been killed.
that rotation comes in anytime soon. This is kind of that point where any kind of support rotation could turn the tides of this mid lane. Here we go. Yeah, it is the leap at level 2 for Mirana, so see, having an arrow, which, you know, for your lane itself is fine, but for the rotations around runes, not having arrows can be very impactful.
We shall see. I mean, is anyone going to start to rotate for the upcoming water runes? Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. There should be a split between the two, but if Dark Margot's got great resources to potentially take both. As, I mean, we were hoping Shopify would be able to bring out some stronger lanes in this second game, and at least Beast Coast are proving like they've got the advantage in multiple so far. Miracle is going to try and swing on over and take away one of the bounty runes, so at least looking to try and prioritize his refills.
Bottom lane, they put a lot of pressure on the Timbersaw though. Silencer was a really good answer to the Timber pick, giving it a really rough time in the lane, and even in the mid game, it'll be an issue for Timber until you get that like Lotus Orb or Scepter to kind of address some of the silences that come out. So early on, they've given Arteezy complete free farm as a result of the way these lanes have been set up.
See if they even want to try and continue to stack for him as well. I mean, I don't know if Crit can actually even leave Saberlight though in this lane, which is a bit of a concern. You'd love to be able to continue to enable the Medusa, but if you do so, then Saberlight might be forced to take a bit more of a backseat. So we will see first rotation though. Stinger's going to start to move his way down to bottom. So let's see what creep he's going to be able to play with to try and help out this lane that really is not going well at all. As Sacred might even go down if Fly can get a little bit of extra damage.
The Ench came bottom through the gate, saw an Ogre creep and was like, nope, I'm out. I can't do anything with this. And also all the actions happening so deep here.
Sacred? They're going to turn it back around. Look at the health pool that both Beast Crows are playing with, but they feel it's enough. 2v1 up against the squishy Fly. They're going to be able to strike back potentially. No, Fly will live. Okay, but still top lane though. We see it's another kill, potentially second. Crit just survives on a slither of health. Somehow he did the calculation to not pop the healing Lotus.
Yeah, but this top lane still looks pretty disastrous. The TA free farming and getting kills on top of that. 4-0 early lead, all from this top lane. Dark Mago's gone pretty uncontested mid, but needs to be careful. Little cheeky silencer poke coming his way, but that's not going to lead to anything. And I think any hope of kill on the Void Spirit is quickly disappearing since his level 6 is getting closer and closer. Baker did make a move over, but
they're going to kill Saber again.
Yeah.
Oh, they pre-tip him. Okay, man, this is scary. A stand-in is playing with this much confidence to pre-tip someone? Come on now, Jim Park. This guy's bodying what feels like every single game. He's so far on top. Don't look at the net worth. Gotti, you're a Shopify fan. You don't want to see that 1100 lead over Arteezy's Medusa.
Yeah, it's fine. They're only like 10 CS apart is what I saw. That's nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 8 CS, you know? It's nothing.
Yeah, 3-0 and 2.
Well, that's the thing. Arteezy's like, it's not my fault he's way more farm than me. Blame Saberline is doomed for going like 0-3 here. Just a perfectly executed top lane. I mean, they've had a great time there. That's why they picked the Ench. I mean, they're so good at picking Jim Park's heroes in the first phase and then giving him like the dream lane. Like this has just been the recipe for success for these.
Again, Mr. Sabret. Another death. Fissure is on point from Schofield. This is a big attempt mid lane though. Dark Margo in a lot of danger. Shopify Rebellion, they will be able to strike back in pretty good fashion as well with a kill onto the Shadow Fiend, a big one at that. Miracle even gets the bonus gold as well, so that's going to be huge for him to potentially look to get active through the early game.
I need Miracle to really step up in a big way, and not to say he's played with anything badly. It's just like things are not going well in these side lanes, and Miracle's the one who has the ability to kind of change the flow of this game. Alongside the supports, they got to start making some moves.
He may be dead again.
Is under attack.
Oh. Add another one to the tally because Saberlight's got no boys to play with. They'll TP in. Might be a bit too late though. They got a good read on where Jim Park's going. In fact, Mirana, they cancelled his TP. Now mid lane though, Arrow's gonna fly on past. Dark Margo steps over towards Radiant's territory and he's gonna be penalized. And now Miracle will also be able to get the kill onto Schofield. So the savior is still here. Miracle ready to go with his Void Spirit. 2-0-1. And that goal is now going to give him treads completed. Let's see what more he's able to do on the map for Shopify.
Yeah, that's good needed. Good news, much needed. The SF going down there, he was, farming incredibly well in the mid lane, but now he's, dropped down quite a bit. There is obviously a major TA problem that's gone unaddressed, but at least there is signs of life coming out from Shopify, prioritizing what they can do in this mid lane. Secret not going to get the damage, the kill here. He's out of mana too, so.
Looks like it's going to be a long chase down from Arteezy.
Yeah.
Oh. Snakes on the cooldown. Sacred should be able to make it. Meanwhile, Jim Park solo kills Saberlight. You can't come back to this lane. You can't come back.
Those kind of deaths start to become a little bit inexcusable. It's like, it's a TA. Like, you know what the hero does. It's a TA by herself. Like, you can't afford to just be going down. Like, no, there's no surprise factor. There's no smoke gang from a support. And Saberlight is just feeding away gold at this point.
Well, Parker, do you believe in the miracle show? Because we might need to have a bit of a flashback in time here for him. 401 haste rune now as well. Looks like he's got the Oblivion staff now completed. So they're playing, I like what they're doing. They're playing around their strongest hero currently. Yes, it is meaning that Saberlight is continuing to get bodied, but you just need to keep playing with Miracle. He's your way back into this game.
I'm a bit of a boomer, so, you know, I've definitely got belief in Miracle. Giving me some, you know, just need to go back, take it back to 2015, and there could be a chance here for Shopify. And ultimately, yeah, you look up and you see, okay, less than 1k gold difference. Arteezy has also had a good time. Like, I was going to say free farm. He's 1,500 net worth behind TA, but he has had close to free down here. He's not really being pressured too much. He will eventually lose his tower because that's just what Timbersaw does. But you know, he's had a good game so far and is in a position to, you know, scale well. And now they take the mid tower with the support rotation as well, which is partly why Arteezy gets bullied out bottom. The supports commit to mid, but I like that the supports playing around Miracle's Void Spirit, and if they can execute a successful rotation on this TA, that'd be huge. They scan as well, so they know exactly where the TA is.
They're gonna guess wrong.
Oh, they went the wrong direction. TA may show here though.
Is the team going to be able to react? They could just pop the global silence. Saberlight's playing super aggressive in the lane, but it's not going to matter. Doom as well. All the hate onto Jim Park, and now with Sacred here, they've got no spells to be able to combat the reinforcements. Can they cancel Miracle's Rift? Schofield will. Can he just go through a second time? Miracle. He's got the haste to work with for a quarter duration. Be able to get some distance away and should be able to make it out of danger.
I guess I mean, a bit of a neutral trade, I would say. I was going to say a win for Shopify. Like, definitely a mental win. You kill this damn TA. But the TA got a kill before she even died. Like, they 4-man ganked the TA. TA just, like, Melt Strike and 2 shots crits Mirana before going down. So, TA didn't go down without a fight. And then they, you know, the cavalry shows up, they get another support kill. So I think all the TP rotations getting just a support, you know, ultimately for Beast Coast wasn't the greatest. But, yeah, the TA for double support trade probably works out pretty even there.
Miracle's definitely the one that's happy though. He was able to get the streak of Jim Park, so this guy's balling out of control. So we see just all the ultimates they needed, but unfortunately with them on cooldown, it just meant that Sacred and Co were able to clean up. So see what Beast Coast now want to do now, because still we have such an interesting game where top was so bad for Saberlight. Meanwhile mid lane, Margot. Considering about the Requiem, it's not going to be easy though. Miracle's still got to simulate another ultimate charge to work with. Rick does leap in aggressively, and these impetus are starting to stack up from Stinger, and that'll be enough to get the kill. So Crit knows his fate, and he's not going to avoid it.
That's just a rough game overall. Another death. Him and Saberlight just really being bullied a bit in that top lane, and even just how the game's gone since then. But, you know, with the TA going down, I think that's the other thing that, you know, Beast Coast can kind of at least relax in thinking is that, you know, they've got 2 good scaling cores. They've got the SF as well. Even Timbersaw not had the best time. That bottom lane was a bit rough. But Timbersaw's a hero that really, you know, the Doom and Silencer offer some answers, but you can't doom all 3 of these cores here in the late game.
Shadows.
See where this attempt's going to be once again. It's the OG trio. What can they do to try and bring Shopify back into a position where it will be contestable? I mean, this is a perfect move. Jim Park on the high ground. What a read from Shopify, knowing exactly his farming pattern. And they'll be rewarded with a wisdom room as well. That is an incredible move from Shopify.
Massive miracles. I mean, he's almost as farmed as the TA. He's the top net worth on the Radiant side. It's not like he's been farming. He's just been making these moves and rotations. obviously getting a lot of creeps in the process, but 6-0-1 so far. Saber has the Deso queued up, so not going all in maybe on full stat items, wanting some actual damage to scale and be able to get some of these kills, recognizing that, you know, single target damage is maybe something that they lack with Doom having a rough game. And the two supports are not really damage dealing supports, so a bit more emphasis on his own damage output.
They're going to go instantly to the top. Sacred will get a glimpse of crit. Sacred's actually going to try and play aggressive here. They'll have enough time to react with the supports, but Miracle's damage seems to be overwhelming.
He's under attack.
And this is starting to get a little bit spooky. Yes, that lane was incredibly favored towards the TA, but one big issue is that who makes plays on Beast Coast? You do not have this Void Spirit on your team. You've got this greedy TA plus Shadow Fiend as your mid lane kind of course it up. Sacred's not going to be able to play active. In fact, Sacred, he's vulnerable to going down with all the damage they have at the moment. So there is a lot of momentum that's starting to be built off the back of the trio that we see out of Shopify.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They are just making all the plays and moves on the map, and something I touched, but yeah, upon during the draft was just like, yeah, you know, Beast Coast may have to weather this storm where Void Spirit can make all the plays he wants around the map, and they don't really have an answer to it. They're the ones with the greedier farming side of the equation in this draft. With SFTA and Timber, they're looking to scale and go more late game, but as a result, they're kind of giving Shopify free reign to do whatever they want here.
It does seem like they're going to be ready to start to hit back on Beast Coast. You got the blink now for Schofield. Jim Park's even wanting a blink dagger of his own as well. So there is going to be a lot of burst potential. Just fissure into the Timber spells or either into the jump in from Jim Park as well. But if they're looking to blow one person up from Beast Coast, who do we feel like the priority needs to be on?
Are scanning.
I think at all stage of the game in some ways it's always going to be this TA. Timber's always one of these heroes you can just kind of ignore if possible.
Global used defensively. They still got some boys to play around as well as Miracle wants to jump in and finds the finishing blow. He's out of mobility though. Schofield's going to be able to get a glimpse of his retreat. Dark Margot's even swinging on over as well. Be lacking detection and lacking stun, so Miracle's out of danger. Looks like Fly will avoid it too.
Get out unscathed, so this goes rotation. We see those issues where that kind of lack of catcher initiation and so the lack of maybe detection there for the Mirana Moonlight Shadow costing them. So game state where, you know, things have kind of stabilized and Shopify managed to find numerous kills around the map. They're still down on kills, but it's been all the momentum's going their way with all the recent kills being picked up by the Void Spirit rotation.
Do we think we need to be looking towards Roshan pretty shortly? I mean, we know a TA lineup has the capability to take it, so do you feel like you'd like to see Beast Coast play around top?
I think they're going to be a little bit careful. If Global's down, which I think it is for a little bit longer, that's fine, but in general, their draft is not really ready to team up.
Oh, nice blink away. Get some distance over to the left side. Sablelight's still going to be able to drop the Doom. And TA's completely isolated. There's no reinforcements to protect her as the Doom target because they're putting all their attention over towards Miracle, but without the Earthshaker, they're going to be lacking stuns. Maybe Stinger's got the damage though. Dark Margot up in the high ground looking for the raises. Miracle's out of danger, and now they'll turn to the Timber as well as Margot is trying to cover Sacred with the Requiem. It'll do a good enough job to send Shopify back to their high ground. That is another engagement that goes the way of Radiant.
Yeah, just TA going a bit too aggressive there, thinking that there was maybe a play to be made, but linking into a lot of heroes.
Look at the damage, Miracle. You might just die now though. Dark Margaret says, all right, thanks for the freebie. I'll take that one, my good sir. It's a huge streak as well. So in fact, after that kill, it puts Dark Margot neck and neck with Miracle's net worth and Stinger. They even get crit as well. Not going to have the damage. Schofield will be hesitant about jumping for the finishing blow as well.
Stinger's Ench has been doing a lot of damage in all these engagements and fights. Max Impetus doing wonders, and see if he can scale now, has the force up coming up good with the Pavis, going more for that kind of support utility build. There's potential for the Ench to become like another scaling core in the mid-game fights.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See if she can get there though. Seeing up 4-star form is coming 5 out of 4
Are
actually. Okay.
scanning.
See that KDA for her.
Allies.
A lot, I mean, that top lane, there was a lot of kills.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It was like a 0-7 lane or something. I feel like at like 6 minutes
Dire's
in.
top tower is under attack.
How did they? Oh, they had the sentry on the cliff. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I too was like, how does she miracle? But Sacred's gonna chain in aggressively. Dire is starting to rotate more numbers down.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the call. Global silence. Miracle's in a little bit of danger in the tree line. Might try and get the kill before he escapes. Doesn't have the remaining resources. Now he's in danger. Jim Park has to go through the Crimson Guard, but that will be no concern with Sacred nearby. And now Shopify, it's an all-out retreat. But unfortunately for the silencer, he'll only get a few steps away as he's cut down right next to the tier 2 tower. And now Beast Coast can look to get a big objective and potentially Roshan as well once they get this tower.
Yeah, that's such a big kill. The Void Spirit's the one that really dictates all of Shopify's moves. So you bring down the Void Spirit and there's just no plays left for them to make. They just have to go back and farm. Like, Medusa will farm and farm fast, but you give up so much map control. Like you say, you maybe give up Roshan here as well, just because of that Void Spirit death. Although this tower is taking some time to bring down. The Glyph will delay it. And if they fall back and go for Roshan, there may be time for Shopify to contest it, and they just picked up a butterfly on Medusa, so they are, at this point, you've got to start thinking about fighting around this Medusa who's getting stronger and stronger. Butterfly meaning that Medusa can be a real big threat in these late game engagements now.
They should know. They should know, though. These guys had a pretty deep observer board next to the tier 2 mid that saw both the Deucer and Doom together. Let's see how they're going to be able to play accordingly to this, though. Like you said, global on cooldown, but we could still be looking at the big Doom from Saberlight.
I forced this Roche, though. Shopify get here in time.
Don't have much vision to play with. It's going to be a blind jump in from them, and Roche is
an arrow,
pretty
though.
fast. Arrow's going to come through. Sting will tank it. Miracle sees a freebie. He's going to pounce on that opportunity. Remnants on the mark with the damage. Larkin! Score! A big echo to set up for the follower. Sacred tries to chain in, but they haven't been able to kill anyone just yet, as now they'll turn. Timbersaw's in a lot of danger, isolated from the team, but they want revenge. Arteezy's still going to stand strong. This is a big issue for them at the moment. So the call from Beast Coast is just to completely avoid the carriage. Jim Park assassinates the silencer up to the north. Saberlight, though, what can he look to do without the ultimate already used? They're under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow. Still super awkward. They're just going to deal with the easy heroes. Leave Arteezy to Ross. It's incredible man to dodge, but is it really going to be enough? They'll be able to secure the kill onto the TA. Enchantress shops as well. And on Dark Margot, he can be chased down too. Do you have the movement speed to escape? Illusion block. Wait. Hey, what? Aegis still in pit? What? What's going on?
You got it.
Indeed, no way. Okay, dude, so what? Did we just
The TA never picked up Aegis.
Okay, do you blame her? We just had one of the best echoes you could have in a game, and I imagine the Earthshaker was saying, boys, you don't get your ass over here off the back of the echo. I swear to God, it doesn't even matter about the Aegis.
I feel like we're gonna see that one again. Yeah, the TA just never picked it up. Oh, beautiful echo. I feel like Dark Mago was like a little bit unsure what to do. He's like, I'm a bit far away to Requiem, but then he's like, he actually canceled the Requiem, and then he was like, wait a second, all I gotta do, I just need a Requiem and cast the fear on them. But I think that Requiem cancel was kind of costly for Beast Coast there. At the same time, the fight still worked out amazing. If this TA had the Aegis, they just kill Arteezy here. Yeah. But they do end up at least walking away with the If SF didn't get Aegis, that would be hilarious.
Minor thing for Saberlight's decision to actually doom the Earthshaker as well. If he got Fissure after the Echo, they probably team wipe them. So I mean, you may think it's a wasted Doom with already Echo used an Enchant Totem, but if there was a follow-up stun, that could have just been a disastrous fight. And well, they're actually posturing like they want objectives on Shopify.
This Medusa's becoming this pretty unstoppable force now. With that said, you know, the dual scaling core is a lot of physical damage from the SF and TA. A lot of benefit from that minus armor, but They're gonna need some MKBs. They're gonna need ways to deal with the evasion, I feel like, of this butterfly.
Even just to deal with the support. I mean, Schofield with the gold he just had from that fight, 8th lens, but by the Vizier as well. So he's gonna have a really long cast range of the fissure. His has the Ag Shard as well, so just got it received, which is gonna be huge for him. This Earthshaker is, it's solely going to be onto the Void Spirit to be able to jump him. So all eyes on Miracle. I mean, all our attention has been on him through the entirety of this game. Is a big reason why this game is as even as what it is, but he needs to continue to play incredible.
Dire's structures are fortified.
See, you need to step it up. He's got the farm to scale well. Yeah, there we go. The MKB is queued up. Mentioned the evasion becoming a bigger and bigger problem, so
Dire's top
to
tower has fallen.
directly address that one and
Bounty.
see, easy continue to farm up as well.
I feel like Dire are going to be able to, like, who scales better in this game? Because I feel like TA with the scaling versus Deucer is a little bit more Deucer favored, but then you have all the other heroes that are okay. So is there even a side you feel like is a little bit more favored as this one goes later? Is Sacred? It's in danger. I don't even need the Doom with the wall storm to be able to set up for the arrow. Schofield's just too late to counter initiate.
Is under attack.
They're gonna have their high ground getting poked a bit here. No Timber to defend with. That's often the wall in the front lines. And yeah, we're seeing some of that late game scale in Medusa, and you've also got the Doom as well. So I honestly think Shopify's draft goes late game just fine here.
There you go.
Yeah, they've got like the SF to kind of combo with the TA as like a double right-click carry against Medusa, but I think the supporting cast of Shopify have a pretty good chance here.
Oh, look at the damage. Miracle blows up Stinger. He's got a buyback. Jim Park's now going to TP back to base. Let's see what the call is going to be with the Templar Assassin showing. This is a big timing though from Arteezy. Skadi completed. Very good against the dual range cores that Beast Coast are playing with and the Timber as well. Schofield gonna be caught out. Let's see if he can play around the blink. Not even an opportunity. Miracle's just doing so much damage.
Yeah, this Void Spirit build has worked out really nicely, just giving that extra single target damage that, you know, Doom and Medusa kind of lack in a sense, not to mention the support. So having that Deso and just really scaling up, not to mention whoever you're attacking, you're buffing up Medusa's right click damage by lowering their armor. So putting Shopify in a position where they actually, yeah, late game wise, they're scaling fine. But at the same time, you know, it's both sides. Like both sides have really good scaling here. Shaker's an amazing late game support. Enchantress is another support that can scale and offer like a ranged DPS threat against a Medusa. So it really will come down to the execution, whether or not, you know, Baker can land some of these really big fissures and echo slams, but then there's things like global silence to worry about, who's getting doomed.
Dire's bottom tower
Really
is
just
under
the spell
attack.
usage is going to really dictate how some of these late game
Radiant's
fights will go.
top tower is under attack.
And just your utility as well overall. We see a couple of Halberds starting to get worked on. Saberlight just completed his. Miracle did have one queued up prior. He's going to change his mind for the Skadi now. But
Radiant's top
even the
tower
Enchantress
has
on
fallen.
Stinger is closing on a Halberd.
Dire's
So
bottom tower has fallen.
looks like there's also going to be a lot of importance on those items. That's lovely. Saberlight gets a double Wisdom Room. So your Doom, who had a very rough lane, 3-7 and 5 Saberlight is currently looking pretty decent in net worth. In fact, I mean, he's further ahead than Sacred, who's really continuing to struggle on this Timber.
They share my fall.
So they might just jump Sacred as soon as they see him. And Shopify continuing to play super aggressive across the map. This Aegis has expired for a little bit of time now. They are giving no breathing room for Beast Coast.
Yeah, I think Shopify, like the way they can kind of play their aggression around, like Medusa can just show anywhere and be unafraid of dying. So their execution is so much easier, whereas anybody on Beast Coast who's showing is at risk of getting like jumped on by Void Spirit.
Radiant's top tower
There's just
is
so
under
many ways
attack.
for even a tanky Timbersaw to go down, whereas Medusa is
Because
just
Timber is going to go down just like that. Miracle and Crit together. Even a Global Silence has to be used though to stop the potential of Schofield keeping him alive. Can he do it again? Margaret potentially is going to try and set up for the Requiem.
Thought about it. They didn't necessarily see him coming there, but maybe if you can have the Requiem Fear push Arteezy further into the base, could be one way to try and start a fight here, but it's very high risk. If he gets off that ultimate, you're not killing him fast enough, all of a sudden that things can backfire quickly.
Saberlight, you're standing on a ward. Okay. So they're coming outside the base. You got to get rid of that pretty fast. Miracle jump straight on top. Is this an opening? Oh, nice Manta dodge. Gets out of the aftershock. Maybe it wasn't even going to matter, but any potential danger, he's okay. Even snipes the Cory, which would have been the Daedalus as well for Jim Park. So a little bit less damage that TA will be outputting now for the next 3 minutes.
Nice little find for them, and it feels like Shopify are filling blood in the water. They've just completely camped themselves outside of Beast Coast's base. It does not feel like a 2k gold lead at all. Kills almost even, but it's Shopify who are just really up in Beast Coast's face, and Beast Coast are like, they're trying to, you know, Dark Mago's trying to get up on the map to do some split pushing, but even he has to be a bit careful because he's being hunted.
What would you say the probability is currently? When it's pretty even game, even though Shopify have really been the aggressors lately.
I feel like it's like 70-30 Shopify right now. Maybe 65-35.
83%, Mr. Gaben says.
83, wow.
Yeah.
In Shopify's favor, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't really expecting it to be that, at least that sided for Shopify currently, but I mean, even off the incredibly bad start they had, the fact that they are in this game, in fact, the ones with the lead, big props to really the trio that we saw, Fly, Crit, and Miracle.
I think Dota Plus seems to not like, I think it was the last game where they were owning with TA, and we thought it was like 95-5, and Dota Plus was like, nah, it's like 80-20.
It's under attack.
So, something about Dota Plus does not believe in TA drops.
Radiant are scanning.
This any easier though with the free Roche.
Yeah. Honestly, this one is definitely, this current game set very tough. Obviously, they're going to get Aegis, but you sense it. Like, wherever Shopify go, Beast Coast is dodging fights. You know, they can't make plays. Grenade on the ground, not going to be picked up, but and the execution is just so much easier for Shopify. You know, you just have Medusa walk down these lanes, sit behind her. Anybody on Beast Coast who shows, you can jump them with the Void Spirit or the Doom with a Global Silence to protect the jump. On Beast Coast side, your initiation, your shaker is just, it's a little bit unreliable because of the Global Silence and because of just the lack of damage to kill heroes like Medusa.
And you don't have that tanky offlaner like Sacred who can maybe soak up some of the spells and force Shopify to overcommit and then to group up for those abilities. We've seen Sacred way too many times this game. It's just been blown up 4-0. And it might happen again mid lane. With the Skadi slow, the rest of the team is starting to move on over towards Arteezy's location, but Sacred finds another chain and looks like he'll get out of danger. They see Jim Park out of the lane bottom. This Observer deep outside might be his demise. Once again, starting to move down. Sidestep, that should reveal a ward, and instantly Saberlight gets rid of it.
Yeah, I think this Timber not being more farmed than tankier is a big problem moving forward. Like, you need a Timber who can really frontline, but your Timber's just getting, like, blowing up, and with really nothing at all needing to be used is a big problem.
Some big items were just completed though. That Daedalus finally got delivered to Jim Park once the Cory respawned. Halberd as well for Stinger. So we've seen this has always been a great way to mitigate some of the effectiveness out of the Medusa. Just Halberd avoid her for that 5 seconds and try and deal with everyone else. Oh, that is a illusion, my good sir. No one saw it because meanwhile Arteezy is getting chased from Beast Coast. They know the Doom was used. They won't have this in the arsenal, but of course have to go through multiple lives of Arteezy. Beast Coast was Sacred. Oh my lord.
Safety. Like you say, nobody saw it. Doom, it's a bug. It's a visual bug. It's not on cooldown.
Yes. Not on cooldown at all. What? Just a sound bug. Sounded like he used it, but in fact it's still available, ready to go.
Ghost is trying to be annoying. Stole out the Aegis. defend the high ground. You're kind of at that point where it's like, well, Medusa's 6 slotted. She's not getting any more farm really. Whereas, LSF has another item or two. And TA is also pretty close to being maxed out. But if you're Beast Coast, the mentality just has to be like, all we can really do is try and stall this one out a bit. They're still very close in terms of overall farm. There is some scaling on support.
Stinger, not that way. Oh no. Oh, poor Stinger. Goddamn Absorb that was still outside the base. It just expired, but they saw the move over towards the Tormentor. So Arteezy started to move on over. Helped him get the kill on the Enchantress. Not the biggest kill, but maybe they can poke high ground for a little bit if they feel like they have the opportunity, but they're going to back on off. So still no value out of these Aegis just yet for Shopify.
Yeah, don't look to force the high ground. It is a little bit risky. Not that I think Medusa can easily be killed or bursted, but it's that separation factor where you can block off the ramp with a fissure, isolate Medusa, maybe cause some problems that Shopify don't want to mess with. They feel confident that they can scale this tower.
Park, they're going to commit for this. There's an opportunity. Global Silence lay it down. The Fish is going to try and do its best to protect Jim Park, but it's not going to be enough as now Miracle turn to Sacred in some danger with a Silence. Schofield sets up for the Echo. Dark Margot wanting to try and cast a Requiem, but Helmet's going to disrupt the physical damage, so Miracle can play accordingly. In fact, he jumps in. Miracle senses blood in the water, wants to try and get some more kills, but now he's gone too far. As the buybacks on Beast Coast, they'll be able to penalize that deep attempt, but can they get out on Shopify? A Fisher from downtown will stop Crit's TP short, but at least it's just a Mirana that will be cut down instead of some other cores on Shopify.
Sin hold in the end was an expensive one when you're using several buybacks on your cores. Yeah, you can see there, even the gold change not favoring Beast Coast because of the buybacks, and now you're in a tactical disadvantage because you're playing without these buybacks, so any jump or pick up on a TA could just be game over, but they at least got some of those valuable kills. They held their high ground, and they're buying time for this Aegis to expire. So they'll have an opening to maybe prioritize Arteezy a bit more as somebody initiated on some great shaker plays in this fight, but the way it started with TA going down, it felt like TA was maybe even waiting too long to buy back. I think it was hoping they could just defend without the TA buyback. You see here, TA still holding that buyback as long as possible, as Shaker just hit amazing fissure after amazing fissure.
Back live. There's the Doom on our SF, and this time Saberlight will find the Doom on the real target. No illusion that he has to be worried about. Arteezy is quickly there for the kill.
That's what you're hoping for from your Doom. Punish the greed of Beast Coast. Beast Coast for a lot of this mid-game have just been trying to send heroes out on the map to kind of solo farm and play the split push game. SF, that is a hero with buyback though, but
It's 25 now on Arteezy. Jim Park is getting close, but it's really extra refraction instances. We'll see how much it's going to help out, but it's nothing you compare against the 25 of the Medusa. There's 30 seconds of free time now. See if it's going to be the call to go up high ground or not for Shopify. A super methodical game from them. But like for a long time, they've been the ones with the map control, just furthering this net worth lead. Midas really paying off. Saberlight has Octarine now, a bit later than what we've usually seen. Sometimes that is the Doom rushing it now though, so he will continue to find his items. Actually got a lot of value out of the supports as well with the space they've been able to find. So this game does not look like it gets any easier for Beast Coast, and you're just praying for some heroic plays from Schofield. And he's been doing that so far this game, but just can you continue to get some incredible fights out of the Earthshaker?
Yeah, like that last fight I feel like was the most you can even hope for or ever expect to. We'll get a little pick up here on Stinger once again. Gench being the sacrificial lamb to get some scouting info. When this Dark Mago gets out, I think you're okay with this one, but approaching that point, MKBs are up on these right-clicking cores. Some of this late-game damage output that they can maybe even consider prioritizing kills on Arteezy if you can chain something with that shaker, but It's just so hard to reliably do so when there's a silencer in the playing field as well.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Call's going to be how do they mount a defense on Beast Coast? Just a poke from afar potentially. Earthshaker's a great way to delay.
Dire's bottom tower.
Even Sacred can cast some spells as well. D3 tower will go down. Shopify don't want to back off just yet. They still big opportunity just in case Beast Coast come outside the base. But this Observer Ward out front of the bottom lane, that's got to go. They had another one there as well. This is going to be, what, ward's last 7 minutes here? That's going to be 14 minutes where they've had a ward in that exact location, which has resulted in, I can't even count how many pickoffs they've gotten from that ward place.
Yeah, they've got the gem on the Shaker, but like Shaker is just sitting back. If anything, the gem needs to be on like a different hero or something like a Timber, but if it's on someone who's frontlining, they may just lose the gem. So it's a bit of a tricky situation, I think, for Beast Coast when it comes to the vision game. And there's even a similar ward in the mid lane, so all of them, anyone leaving this Beast Coast base is being constantly scouted out. They are going to go for a little smoke play, though. Get several heroes out of the base here. May just be a Mirana kill, but at this point, you take whatever you can get to get out of your base.
See what we can work with it. Oh, Fire's a pretty nice pick off. They have no other information, though. It's so scary to make this jump. Get a glimpse of him now. Schofield instant pounces. Rainbow TP's down to the outpost. What's the call from Beast Coast? Do you stick around? He's going to try and TP out. Oh, my lord. The Remnant jostled the mark. Schofield grit for Miracle. Gem dropped on the deck, and a Stinger. He didn't escape as well. Now this time they'll be able to catch him too. So you get the kill onto Fly, but it's going to cost you both your supports. And our Shopify, unfortunately for them, Roche is going to be up in 45 seconds. So Beast Coast will have their full 5 men to potentially contest that.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of an odd smoke move, just because you're doing it with 3 heroes. Maybe they were thinking the others could like connect, or I'm not entirely sure. With Roche respawning, just doing for a 3-man smoke there seems very risky. I mean, Roche wasn't up, but these teams don't know the exact respawn time. They also lose their gem now as well, so in a really precarious position. This is pretty much a guaranteed Aegis, I feel like, for Shopify at this point. You're going to be trapped in your base once again, but you know, they can keep stalling things. They've got TA traps littering their base here. You know, they've managed to get the SF out of their base to get some farm, so they are continuing to scale pretty well. Shaker high ground defense is solid, but yeah, there's no real signs of movement to leave and test Roshan right now.
Arteezy denying Wisdom Runes as well. Oh, Saber, nice Manta from Margot, top lane. Oh my lord, very close. Manta used from the SF to be able to disjoint, so to say, the Doom animation. He's able to get away. Saberlight has done a very good job over the past couple of minutes of just hunting these kind of top and bottom jungle areas. It's really enabled with the Ninja gear as well, so very difficult for Margot to be able to catch up, and Roche will go for free. So you've got Aegis, you've got Cheese, and now the Blessing up for grabs. Looks like Saberlight, I should say, is going to be the one to claim that.
That's one way, you know, you don't have to worry about Manta plays like that if you can just go for the AoE Doom. The move is going to be here moving forward, but I just feel like once again we're in that situation where Beast Coast is going to be camping their high ground, trying to defend and stall. They may even have to give up the lane of Raxi if they're not careful.
That's a super aggressive jump. A pretty good arrow though. Huge target's going to be the Earthshaker. Miracle wants to try and bring him down. Schofield, he's at least got a buyback, so we'll be able to rejoin the boys, but he's got to use it pretty soon because they're starting to go even further. Jim Park, Global Silence there. He doesn't have a buyback. It's too late. Schofield will try and drop the Echo. Miracle's in some danger with a fish up it. There's just no damage. They've got out of the troubling stage, and now they can look to clean everyone up inside the base and out front of the fountain. As the buyback just came too late, the hesitancy from the Earthshaker cost them gravely there. That's probably the last fight of the game.
Yeah, the buybacks just came back up on the Timbersaw. TA has buyback cooldown, but no buyback money. And GG.
GG indeed. So, wow, what? This game was looking very, very grim to start. Top lane did not go well at all for Saberlight and Crit. All the other lanes